Okay, so you see this guy? Give him a game. Yoshi's Island is a Super Nintendo platformer that I like. If you want me to give a whole explanation of how this game came to be, they just made a game about Yoshi? I don't know. I've made a lot of videos of me just being pissed off, so I want to talk about why I love Yoshi's Island without yelling about something that nobody else will notice. One interesting thing about this game is that it uses a Super FX chip which allows for pseudo 3D graphics, which I think bring a lot of charm into this game. You can most notably see this in the pause screen where the letters spin around, but there are some other cool instances. Polygons were used to make these fake walls which slam onto you in the game hurting you, as well as these tumbling blocks. The Super FX chip allows for these things to work as intended, being cool looking stage hazards without having to use clever tricks, but these actually do use clever tricks. What if I told you that this wall is actually a triangle? Triangular prism, to be more exact. I know, I can hear you guys all shaking. Let me explain. They use a triangle rather than a rectangle so it can seamlessly slam onto you without looking weird. The reason why it's a triangle is that since you only have one angle looking at the triangle, it just looks like a rectangle. An incredibly cool optical illusion which I feel is perfect for a game like this. One drawback of using the Super FX chip for this game is that it makes it painfully difficult to emulate this on any other hardware besides an old Super Nintendo. Of course, people found out how to do it with a little bit of troubleshooting, but it took a while to get a close to perfect emulated version of this game. A weird fact is that the Super FX chip used in this game is actually the second iteration of the Super FX chip, called, and you won't believe this, I know it's crazy, the Super FX 2 chip. Confetti sound effect. Cut this out. What's weird is that Star Fox, one of the only games to use the chip to its fullest extent, does not use the second iteration of this chip. But it's understandable considering the fact that this game came out over 2 years before Yoshi's Island. But considering that the Super FX 2 chip is probably a slightly more enhanced version of the first Super FX chip, that could possibly make Yoshi's Island by default the most powerful Super Nintendo game ever. Something I remember learning when I was younger, long before I even touched this game, was that the full title of the game is actually Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. This always confuses me, but looking at it, it makes some sense. Another game that did the same thing was Wario Land on the Game Boy, originally being a third Mario Land game subtitled Wario Land until they made Wario Land its own spin-off series. And same thing with Super Mario World in Japan, as it's subtitled Super Mario Bros. 4 Super Mario World, although it still slightly confuses me considering that Yoshi is a very popular character even at the time. Like with Wario Land, it made sense because what the hell's a Wario?
Oh my god!
Yoshi was prominently featured in Super Mario World and soon after got his own spin-off in the Nintendo Entertainment System called Yoshi's Cookie. If they were so worried about his games not selling well, they should have called this game Dr. Mario Yoshi's Bowel Ingestion from eating too many cookies. Plus, I mean, look at this guy and tell me you wouldn't buy a full game with him in it? Exceptions apply. It seems that Nintendo was worried about not putting Mario in the name of this game, fearing that it might not do well, but I'm happy that this game is most commonly viewed as a Yoshi game rather than a Mario game. There's a small internal debate in the Nintendo community arguing that this game is either in the Mario series or the Yoshi series. In my opinion, it's more of a Yoshi game rather than a Mario game, even if in the full title it does say it's a sequel to Super Mario World. But speaking of Mario, let's talk about the plot of this game, which involves Mario.
It's a Mario.
A stork is carrying two babies, Mario and Luigi, and then suddenly Kamek strikes it down, taking one baby being Luigi, and the other one plummets down being Mario. But then Yoshi catches baby Mario, then the Yoshis decide to use a map to find baby Luigi and take down Kamek and baby Bowser because, you know, he's there too. This means that if Yoshi didn't catch Mario, we wouldn't have any of the Mario games that we know today.
Mario Pinball Land!
F*** Yoshi. This is a plot for sure. Working as an origin story for how the two brothers started a rivalry with Bowser, and showing their previous history with the Yoshi species. The game itself is incredibly sweet. It uses a really nice pixel art style, which I love. Everything in it looks like it's made out of arts and crafts. The arts and crafts theme was expanded upon in another Yoshi game called Yoshi's Woolly World, which I might talk about soon in the future. But anyway, everything in this game looks so smooth and happy. Even the enemies, like I feel bad eating these guys and turning them into eggs to throw. No, I don't. Speaking of eggs, let's talk about the gameplay.
What the hell did you just put in your mouth?
This game is the same running and jumping like in most Mario games, but being Yoshi, you have the ability to eat enemies and turn them into eggs to throw. Another thing new to Yoshi is the new flutter jump. In Mario World, Yoshi felt slightly more floaty, but in this game, if you hold the jump button, Yoshi will do a pseudo double jump. This is also the first game to my knowledge to have the ground pound, which was later given to Mario and first used in Mario 64. This game also introduces a Shy Guy kinda. In Super Mario Bros. 2, we see Shy Guy, but this game is just a reskinned Japanese exclusive game brought to the US markets. It's a whole story I don't want to get into, but this is the first game to actually have Shy Guys, which aren't just in a reskinned game. These are just some examples of things that Yoshi's Island introduced that were carried over into future games. This is a game where I can just sit down and play the entire game. I love this game. Just a simple yet complicated platforming and the moves that Yoshi can pull off, as well as the happy music and graphics. It's just a game that makes me happy. This is a game that I can recommend for anyone to play. I commonly play through it on the Switch Online app, but if you have any means of playing this game, please do. Wow, I can't believe I just played a game without swearing excessively or insulting the game's main player base. Maybe I should find a brand new Yoshi game to make me happy. Man, I'm about to pass the f*** out. I'll take Yoshi's Woolly World.